And this was kind of interesting to that Augusta was his name, and that was my grandfather's middle name.
I think 60. Somebody look at it. Oh, look at this guy. 24 years old. Then
this is the one that the footstone and the headstone are on opposite sides of the tree.
It's like, I don't even know if it has a footstone anymore.
Oh, there's a footstone somewhere right there?
Usually they used to have headers.
Footstone's over here. But I just thought it was cool how he comes up here from Texas and finds all these headstones and takes care of them. He even glued up, there was this baby Edner in Union that he glued up, which made me sick because he didn't know what he was doing. He went to Home Depot and bought sub-4 adhesive and glued the thing together. It's totally not going to hold. But, you know, he means well. And when it falls apart, I'll fix it again for him. Last time I cleaned this one, so here's a veteran's headstone clean. Last year, Save the Graves, our big project was all different veteran stuff. So we cleaned hundreds of veterans' headstones around the county and straightened a bunch of them. And we're in the process now of installing VA markers like this on unmarked veterans' graves, which is a real difficult thing to find and identify. It's basically a year and a half of research to identify 40 so far unmarked veteran graves.
Why do they look so new?
They are new.
They are new.
They're replacements.
Oh, they're replacements.
They were also they were like the rich people.
That one always has amazed me. When we used to come out here as kids, of course, it wasn't even that big then, and I've always like, wow, check this out, this little grove house. Here's our grave, and look at this big tree growing out.
And then when they were taking stuff out, the same vehicles were coming back.
Oh, probably.
And if you've just got a little stone rather than a load of marbles,
Can you imagine the weight of that thing?
First marble carved in Sacramento was shipped from Boston in late 1850. The ship wrecked along the coast of Chile because they were going all the way around South America back then. And the marble was recovered, salvaged, and a failed gold miner named Israel Luce purchased it. So I want you to remember three names today. These are our early Sacramento stone carvers. Israel Luce, number one, L-U-C. And I want you to remember that because when you look at old headstones, you're going to look in the lower right-hand corner and you're going to see on some of them Israel Luce or Luce and Company or Luce and Brothers. They were very incestuous. They had lots of different relationships. They're all signed different, but Luce, you're going to see Luce. So he forms a company in 1851. The following year, another failed Argonaut that I mentioned in Fair Play, Andrew Aitken, number two, Aitken, A-I-T-K-E-N. Gifted stone carver from Scotland who's now given up gold mining, and he's the guy with the extra thumb on his right hand. So Israel and Luce formed the Israel and Luce Pioneer Marble Works on K Street, and they're doing well because marble is really popular. I mean, anybody that's got a few bucks to rub together, they start buying marble mantel places and windowsills, and it's how you show off that you've made it. Marble was the thing. So these guys are doing that, and that's their big money maker, but you know, it's expensive as hell, so they end up doing a lot of headstones to keep busy. So anyway, meanwhile, this stuff has got to come all the way around the horn. It's costing them a fortune. So Aitken runs the shop, and Luce spends the summer up here. He knows that there's a bunch of a limestone ridge here and he finds, he's looking for a source of marble, and he finds this place. So that's Luce, the first guy. He comes up here and he finds this limestone belt that runs across Tuolumne, Calaveras, Amador counties, ending right here in Indian Diggins. A couple years later, he's hydraulic mining here. That's the tearing up the land, but that's the way you expose the rock he needs, and that's 57. He's got a steam mill with 3 gangs of saws running in 1861. Now you can imagine running saws to cut through marble in 1861. I mean, I don't know how long there's no carbide tip blades or anything. I can't even imagine how it would have worked. Anyway, a few years later in 66, he reports to the State Agricultural Society, quote, "The marble's more easily worked, more free from iron, flint, or other outside matter, and is as susceptible of a high polish as the best Italian. There's no reason why it should not in a few years supersede the use of imported marble altogether." He's not taking into account transportation costs right there. For general purposes, there is no marble in the United States that can compete with it. And as you are well aware, we've exhibited all over the place and done really well. This operation continues through the end of the 19th century. That's the 1800s. The quarry was located southeast of the cemetery. Help me out. Point. That away.
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you were there?
Back with the Gemology Society. We drove back in.
So the Gemology Society, which I still haven't connected with, is still coming out and visiting this place.
Well, not this year because the tree's down.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're wimps. We kept going.
It's been a while.
So that's, you know, at a high level, that's the stone story. And I'm leaving out how popular marble was at the time. We've kind of gone away from it now, but it was a big deal. The second component, so we had marble, it's part of the Indian digging story. The second part, which is actually the first part, is gold. That's what starts this. Like so many other origin stories, it's gold. The first report of the discovery of gold here is 1850. So, you know, 1848 is when it's discovered. They find it here in 1850. A party of Fiddletown miners. Fiddletown back then was called Oneida. It was a part of Dorado County. It came.
Fiddletown was part of Amador?
Yeah, Amador got carved out of pieces of other surrounding counties, including ours.
Yeah, this was Amador here too.
Wow.
At one time.
So these miners find these Indians panning gold here, and hence the name, Indian Diggins. Early settlers in the area included a guy named Perry, who I got lost on his road today.
I know about Perry.
You do?
Perry Creek.
Yeah.
Miller was a miner here. He made his money and he never ran out of it. He invested it and bought El Dorado Ranch.
In the beginning, he was an Indian agent in 51 and 52. And those guys, I've heard horror stories. I don't know, but in fact, Indians were a big deal. This was a central point for Native American gatherings. It was not uncommon, this is a quote from Doug Noble again, not uncommon to see collected together 1,500 or more in this area. So, I mean, they moved around, right, to the oaks, certain oaks, certain years gave them a lot of the acorns, so they were inherently transient. I just really kind of wonder what happened to all these guys. By the end of that first year here, there's more than 50 cabins, a store, and of course, a saloon or two. Third piece of the Indian digging story is water. So water to serve the town and the mines came from the South Fork of the Cosumnes River by way of ditches in 52. That was the first one. 3 years later, more ditches bringing water in from the Middle Fork of the Cosumnes River. So this is a whole industry in and of itself. They're selling stock. Fortunes are won and lost. You can't do the gold mining after the very, very beginning. You can't do the gold mining without ditches to get water somewhere besides right in the stream beds. And then in the summer, half the streams are dry anyway. So, and of course, as I told you in Fair Play, it becomes really relevant because that gives agriculture a big head start. There's already a way to get water here. And people that own the ditches are responsible for them and are selling the water. What's that measure, the something foot?
Acre foot.
Acre foot. I can't imagine how they monitored that, but
With a weir.
yeah,
Yeah, a weir to flow. How deep is it
Got it.
going over the weir?
got it. If you need a little more water, they take an inch off the weir and give you another.
Or just keep the gate open?
Got it. All right. So the immigrants came here. We're told, I already did this, that gold would be laying on the ground. And there was a lot of it laying on the ground here. A lot of it was very close to the surface. The town of Indian Diggins became one of the richest surface and creek diggings around. And that's also called placer mining, if you've heard that. So these guys were actually picking it up on the surface. 53, they get a post office. That's early for a post office, so that says this is real. By 55, it's one of the largest towns in the southern part of El Dorado County with between 1,500 and 2,000 people. 9 stores, 5 hotels, and the usual assortment of saloons.
What year again?
55.
Wow.
Early. That's early. It nearly became the county seat, an election that Placerville won by a few votes. Yeah, Placerville didn't beat out Indian Diggins by a few votes, though. They beat out, I think, Coloma by a few votes. And that was highly contested, and it went back and forth for a few years and ended up getting settled in court. The other barometer of have you made it is, are the fraternals here? Because back then, it was all about the fraternal orders. So the Masons and the Oddfellows both arrive in the early 1850s. The Masonic Lodge lasts until 74 when it merged with Fiddletown. I love the name, the Polar Star Lodge of the IOOF, that's the Oddfellows, continued all the way till 63 when the hall and records were destroyed by fire and they rebuilt it at Fairplate. So in 56 they got their school district. Indian Diggins Elementary School District still exists as one of the 2 smallest in El Dorado County, Silver Fork being the other one. Couldn't remember that. I already told you about the principal, superintendent, teacher, everything, Grant Coffin, who also answers the phone when you call the school, which is cool. A stagecoach ran to Placerville every day from here. There were 2 dailies to Sacramento and a freight line that ran 3 times a week. So they're coming and going. Now there would have been other roads. They didn't all come up on the road we were just on. There would have been other roads, and I don't know where they are.
That's Bob Brown's road comes in that way.
Okay,
And then there's another one off the other side that goes towards Fiddletown.
got it. Okay, so what happens to all the gold rush towns eventually?
They run out of gold.
Nope,
Burned down.
they burn down! The town was destroyed by fire in 58, burned to the ground.
Wow.
Rebuilt and burned down again 3 years later.
And then they gave up.
No,
Nope.
no, they
They're still diehards.
a third a third major fire occurred many years later when Justice Jinkerson, not your grandmother, intentionally burned a row of shacks known in polite society as the Street of Painted Ladies, also known as, Michelle, Whorehouse Gulch. Yes.
And it burnt the whole town down when they did that.
No, I don't think so. Just that street. But I don't think there was much left to burn by that point. Indian Diggins generated its share of interesting anecdotes, and these are all over the internet. A Captain Cleghorn, a Civil War veteran with mental challenges, became very revered by the local Native Americans. After his death, his ghost was seen many times by locals. There's your ghost story. All right? You don't get many of them out of me. The father of the Birdman of Alcatraz, Robert Stroud, lived here.
Wow.
The summer of 1855, a ditch superintendent left town taking all of the ditch company's money and another man's wife. Caught at Nevada City, the man gave up the money but kept the wife.
Nevada City. Okay.
A couple of months later, a husband caught a wife attending a traveling circus with another man. When confronted, the man fired multiple shots at the husband, finding flesh at least once before fleeing into the night. The husband was left crippled for life. We have no report on who the wife went with. Two Indian Diggins miners arguing over a game of 10 pins attempted to settle the dispute with a duel in the middle of the street. They dutifully emptied their revolvers at each other. They were both apparently very drunk, or poor shots, or both, as none of the bullets hit home. Friends intervened before one of the men got to his cabin to fetch his rifle. And here we go. I think this one's your relative. In 1860, a dispute over water rights occurs between some miners living on Cedar Creek and a Dr. O.P.C. White, who had dammed the creek. When they tried to destroy Dr. White's dam, he killed two of them, McGee and Sweeney, and injured the third, Delaroy. With the aid of friends, he avoided arrest and left California for his home state of Tennessee, where he lost his life in the Civil War. Does that sound like you?
So who was your relative?
Holston actually did it too, because my grandmother had his diary, which has since disappeared, and it was a handwritten entry in there that he shot somebody for stealing his water also.
And
Well,
was Holston your ancestor?
Holston was married.
This
to
is probably
Lord
Holston.
Jenkinson.
I mean, because these stories get contorted,
Yeah.
believe me, especially once they get on the internet.
Yeah, shot him. Wasn't his day, it was my day, and I shot him.
Shot him. That was it.
They were stealing the
In
water.
the quote.
That was
Next
it.
day.
Done. Next entry. Yeah.
And then what about the whole thing about the Civil War?
I don't recall any of that coming from them, so I don't know if it's the same entry as in the diary that I had read or not.
Water was a big deal. It could
It
have
was
been
a
more
big
than
deal.
one, though.
It
easily.
could have been.
Yeah, yeah. By the 1870s, due mostly to the state's ban on hydraulic mining, which happened in the 1870s, and it wasn't all at once, it was gradual, but it would have really shut down things here, I think. Indian Diggins has become almost a ghost town. All the gold mines had closed, and the mining industry had been reduced to just the marble sawing mill, which was still producing great marble for monuments, buildings, and ornamental purposes. Indian Diggins sent a bunch of people to the legislature, a whole long list here that I won't bore you with. In 1881, there's between 600 and 800 voters here, according to Scioli. He's generally pretty good about that. So I'm going to skip.
Who owns the marble mine now?
SPI,
Southern Pacific.
they own all of
They
it,
own all this.
except for the cemetery and the road into the cemetery. They cannot own that. That's public.
Public road.
But everything around it they own.
So is it SPI, is that Sierra Pacific Industries?
Yeah. We actually, when we got ready to open up the store, my grandmother's cabin had fallen down, but all the wood was there, and a friend of ours has since passed, was a woodworker, and he said, well, let's go down and get some of that cabin wood from your grandmother's cabin. And then if you notice the counter in the store, we lined that front counter with the wood from my grandmother's
really?
cabin here at India. Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It was a nice gesture on his part to do that.
I don't know if any of you guys ever heard of H. Ross Brown. He was a weird combination humorist. He was a contemporary of Mark Twain and a combination humorist, historian, and also the state, what exactly was his title? The state geologist.
Oh.
And he explains why Indian Diggins struggled here. What year am I in? 1868. After going on about how great the marble is here, he says, although California contains an abundance of marble of great beauty and variety, most of that used in San Francisco is imported from Italy or New York. This fact is attributed to the want of good roads and cheap transportation. It's more economical to bring the raw material from Italy, including the transshipment at Bordeaux or Marseille, than from the foothills in the state, less than 100 miles away.
Tariffs. Need tariffs on that marble.
The present price of Italian marble is $5 to $6 per cubic foot. California marble cannot be laid down in San Francisco at these rates. That doesn't apply to the interior. All of the places and towns above Sacramento, Marysville, and Stockton use the native marble. By that time, it's not just this, by the way. There's quarries in Tuolumne and one in Placer County that are closer to major transportation routes. And they are using local basically up here is using local marble because it's cheaper to get it there. And he says that the marble out here, this is where he says that it's just as good as the Italian now, but if we were to ever take these quarries to any considerable depth, the marble would be much better than Italian marble. And what I don't know, and maybe some of these gemologist people would be, or Peg Presba, who geeked out on the history of this stuff, if we ever got that deep. But given how long the marble works operated, I suspect they did get quite deep. And then there was the competition. They discovered black and white marbles in Colfax in Placer County, right on the line of the Central Pacific Railroad. And then the beauty of the black marble from this locality, the exquisite polish it retains, and the advantages the owners of the quarry possess in railroads enable them to deliver it to San Francisco cheaper than the Italians. And he thought it would take over the market. But the only one that has been worked sufficient to justify an estimate is the Marble Ledge at Indian Diggets. It was opened about 10 years ago at this time, and even though they were destroyed by fire, they rebuilt it, and they were running it at this time with a 10 horsepower engine. Beautiful texture, inexhaustible in quantity, and competent by judges, pronounced as fine. The test was always, how susceptible is it to polish? They wanted smooth. Now we see these old weathered headstones. It's hard to imagine that, but that was the big thing. How polished can you make it?
Is that why the Italians settled in Jackson to work the mines? Because they had the marble cutting skills?
That's a really good question. Maybe that's how Jackson got the Italians.
Yeah, maybe.
Normally, whenever you look at an ethnic group that came here in mass in the gold rush, like the French, you look at all these gold rush pictures. There's French restaurants in downtown Placerville and Clarksville. Well, the French Revolution was going on. It was pretty nasty in France. They were cutting off people's heads. So there was something going on in Italy. I mean, the monarchies were crumbling at this point, and a lot of people got left out. That's one factor. The other factor is the inheritance practices where the firstborn son got everything. If you're the second son, good luck. You're on your own. It's like, I think I'm going to America, where they don't count who's the first and second. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah, that's all I got for you.